Hey there, I'm Logan, Content and Digital Experience Manager here at Pulsemotiv. In this video, I'm going to take you inside Pulsemotiv for an in-depth look at creating and managing pulses. First, I'll cover all of the menu options, and then I'll create a pulse and show you how easy it is to install on your website. So stay with me for about the next 15 minutes while I cover this technical overview, and by the end of the video, you should feel pretty comfortable creating and managing your first pulse. So if you think you're ready, let's get started. When you log into Pulsemotiv, you're going to come to the dashboard. Yours should look empty like mine because I don't have any published pulses yet. If I did, we would see them right here with analytics about their performance. We made Pulsemotiv simple to navigate with menu options down the left side. Let's go through these one by one, starting with the dashboard that we're on right now. There are 3 tabs on this page which allow us to view our pulses. By default, it brings us to the Publish tab, where you'll view all of the pulses that are live and published somewhere online. Then there's the Drafts tab, which is where pulses will go after they've been created but before they are installed on a site, and the Archive tab, where pulses will go once they've been removed from a page so you can come back to access them later, or come back to compare your current pulse scores against previous ones and see what's working best. On the Publish tab is where your current analytics are presented. View them here on the dashboard or download a CSV file you can import into Excel to get more granular about the way you use these metrics. With this CSV, you can save your analytics or get them to work inside of a larger dataset or spreadsheet. Because we don't have any published pulses, it gives us the option to create a new pulse right here. You can also select this Add New button at the top and it will take you to the same pulse creation page. Before we create a pulse, let's keep going down the menu on the left side with Analytics. The Analytics tab dives a little deeper into what's happening with your impact usage. At the top, it displays the plan I'm on and the number of impacts I'm allowed. And if I click Edit, this will take me over to the plan and pricing page where I can see what plan I'm on and make changes. Just next to that, we've made it easy to track your impacts and to see how close you are to the limits of your usage. Remember, impacts are made up of a proprietary formula taking into account things like the number of plays, number of loads, and the playthrough rate for each of your pulses. Part of keeping your costs down means keeping our costs down, and we've developed that right into the player. It costs us resources each time your audio is loaded, or each time your web page loads for a visitor. To help us both save money and time, we reduced the file size of each of your uploads to about 1/10 of their original format size, without sacrificing any of the quality. And what this means for you is easy to upload, low cost, and fast loading audio files, giving you and your visitors the best overall experience. It may be a good time for me to point out how we load your pulses. The code is designed in a way to load after your website content loads, meaning Pulsemotiv will not delay your web experience, even on slow connections. When your page loads, you'll usually see your content load first and then the Pulsemotiv player. On faster connections, you may not see this time difference at all. Over here, analytics are broken out day by day, and if you click the drop-down arrow, you can see pulse by pulse how they're doing for each day. Change your date range in the top right to see months of activity and to see a history of your scores. This page is mostly just informational to give you an overview of which pulses are doing well and how much they're costing in impacts. This is the slideouts page where you can come to view all your active and inactive slideouts and see which pulse each slideout is active on. Slideouts can be managed in different ways. They can be reused across multiple pulses, so they only have to be created one time. You can duplicate a slideout to make edits as opposed to having to create a new one from scratch, or make changes to existing ones all from this page. Depending on the size of your team, you may have a person in one department creating the slideouts and another person creating the audio, in which case the slideouts could be easily created here and stored for future use. Essentially, this is just a content management library for your slideouts, making it especially easy to stay organized between graphic design, development, marketing, and distribution teams. Or it's also nice to come in here and see all of your active slideouts at once to do a final check that everything is in order. For example, if you've changed a sale over from 25 to 50% off across multiple slideouts, it would be easiest to come here to this page to check to make sure all the active slides in your account are at the correct discount. This tab has active slides, inactive slides, and a sort by option in the top right, so you can see your newest slideouts first. This is the media storage container. Similar to the slideout library, this is where all uploaded audio and image files are stored. View by audio or images at the top. We save every file you upload here in this container for future use. They can be deleted manually by selecting the trash can icon on the right, and this tab comes in handy when working as a team. where one team member can come in here to upload the necessary media files for future use by someone else on the team. Just select Add New at the top to upload a new file. This tab stores all your authors. Authors contain the name of the author and an image. Don't worry, you don't need to be a model. Just upload a simple photo of your face so you can help visitors make a cognitive association who's speaking with them. You can come in here to add a social link out to your profile if you'd like users to be able to learn more about the author. Add one social profile or all three, and for each one that's added, you'll see a mini social icon near the author photo that will hyperlink out to that page. Again, if you're working on a team, it might be more convenient to have one person manage all the author accounts from this hub. To create a new author, click Add New in the top left, just as you would on the other tabs. If you've ever used Google Analytics or something similar, this feature might be familiar. The purpose of an IP blocker is to block the analytics tracker from counting your own views against you. So add any and all of the network IPs that you access your pulses from, probably your work and your home networks and any others. When you view your pulses from a blocked network, it won't count toward the analytic metrics for that pulse. And this is especially important during the testing phase, or if you're continually opening your website at work but not playing through your pulse, you don't want your own page views to count toward your analytics. If you know your IP address, you can enter it here, along with any other IPs you don't want counting towards your analytics. Maybe your mom's IP address if she's continually checking in on your site. But since most of us just don't pay attention to details like our IP address, we've made it simple to block the network you're currently using by selecting the Use Current IP Address button, then Block. All your blocked IP addresses will show up in a list view right here. This is the Pulsemotiv Digital Media Library, full of resources to help you get the most out of the product. Here you will find helpful videos on specific topics regarding the use and best practices of Pulsemotiv. I'll let you look through here as needed. This is our Feedback tab, and we love to hear from you. Submit the good, bad, and ugly with a screenshot if you have one to really highlight something for us. We're always trying to make our product better, and we love getting the opinions of our users. Last but not least, the only menu we haven't covered yet is hiding up here in the top right corner, your Account Preferences tab. The first option, Edit Profile, allows you to edit your name, email address, or update your password. You can add a profile image here if it didn't come over through Google or Facebook when you signed up. The Plan and Billing tab will give you an overview of your current plan and pricing. You can update your credit card info in the bottom left and see a transaction history of previous billing. This is also where you'll come if you want to cancel your account. Hopefully you don't use this feature, but we didn't try to hide it from you either. We made canceling Pulsemotiv simple enough, but your pulses get deleted along with your account, so keep that in mind. The API key tab is used with the WordPress plugin for Pulsemotiv. This unique key can be entered in WordPress to tie your Pulsemotiv account to your WordPress account through the plugin we've developed, allowing you to access your pulses from a drop-down menu directly inside WordPress. If you still have more questions about this, check out our video on installing the WordPress plugin for Pulsemotiv. The last option is to sign out of this account, but let's not do that. We've seen every page of the inside of Pulsemotiv, what the menu options are and what they do, but now it's time for us to roll up our sleeves and create our first pulse. Follow me back to the dashboard and we'll get started. So we're back on the dashboard, or the screen that you'll see when you log into your account for the first time. And to create our first pulse, I can either select it here in the center, or where I would normally go is just up here in the top left to the Add New Audio Pulse button. So I'll click that, and then it's going to ask us to name our pulse. So I will select that and then Create New. There's 4 steps involved in creating your pulse: your audio file upload, basic options, advanced options, and slide out options. So we'll go into those a little bit more. Drag your audio file right here to get started. Options 2 and 3 relate just to the styling of the player itself. So we have a basic player and an advanced player, and you'll see the difference between those. Starting with the color, use our color picker to grab colors off your website, or enter the colors by code if you know them. Then select your author, or add new if the author for this audio hasn't been set up yet. For the basic player, this is just the player with the play line and an author photo. And there's 3 sizes you can choose from that just change the size of that. Or you can select the advanced player by toggling on the options on step 3. Toggling on the advanced player, you can see how some content is added around the player for more information. You can set a title, a description, and then adjust the sizing and font styling of those down below. If your player is going into a defined area of your website, then you can set the max width of that player to fit just right in those constraints. Keep in mind that it cannot be less than 310 pixels or elements on the player begin to overlap and it just doesn't work. Not all pulses will have a slide out. You can choose to leave this option off and you'll get just the audio during playback. Toggling on the slide out will activate one for this pulse. Either select Add New to bring up an already created slide out, or to create a new slide out, either place a link here for a basic slide out, such as a video or just another web page, or go through the menu options for advanced. You can also convert an advanced slide out into a coupon code, where the user can click the slide out to copy a discount code or to their clipboard for later use in your shopping cart. Click Save and Use, and then view your player and slide out in the preview pane on the right side of the screen. When you're happy with the way it's looking, you can save this to drafts at the top of your page, and your pulse is now ready to install. Let's go take a look at it over in drafts. Now that I have a pulse in drafts, it's ready to be installed. There's an indicator which shows this pulse hasn't been installed anywhere yet. When it's successfully installed somewhere online, this red dot will turn to green to show that it's active. We made the install process as easy as possible, literally just a copy-paste of the embed code onto a WordPress, Wix, Squarespace, wherever you manage your website. Find the pulse you want to install and click Get Embed Code. Then click anywhere in the embed code box to copy it to your clipboard. A box pops up to notify that it copied successfully. Click OK. I already have my WordPress pulled up, and I'll click Preview now so that you can see the page I'm putting this pulse on. I want the pulse to go under the header in this empty space here. So going back to WordPress, I'll find the section I want to add to and open up a text box to paste this embed code to. Install it as text, not visual. Paste the embed code we just copied and click Save. It looks like it worked, so I'll click Preview again to see the changes. And great, there's my pulse. So this is really no different than embedding a YouTube video or anything else. It's just a simple copy-paste of an embed code. Now that this pulse is installed, if you see there's anything you'd like to change, like the player colors, author photo, or even a completely different audio file, you can do that on pulsemotiv.com without having to re-embed the pulse. So any pulses can be edited and all changes will automatically update in real time once those changes are saved on pulsemotiv.com. So going back to Pulsemotiv, if I were going to make changes, I'd click Edit Pulse right here. We can see that the red dot from before has turned green and says Installed, so we know everything is good. And now that it's good to go, we're at the final step, and that's to come back in here and hit Publish for live stats. This moves the pulse into the Publish tab, and it's now being tracked for analytics. So remember to come back here and check the install was successful, and publish your pulses, because it won't start tracking analytics until the pulse is published. I'll click Publish, then OK to finalize, and now my pulse shows on the dashboard with the metrics it's now tracking. To give you an idea what your account will look like after it's up and running, I've created a few sample pulses in this account. I've named them according to the pages of the website they'll be installed on to help me stay organized. So this is showing 3 published pulses, but remember you can have as many published pulses as you like, and they'll all show up in list view on this dashboard. You can sort the list by name or by pulse score to help you find pulses faster. If I click the gear icon here, it brings up options to duplicate, edit, or archive this pulse. As a security feature, each pulse can only be installed one time, but if you want the same pulse in 2 different places, you can still do that by duplicating a pulse and installing the copy in the second location. Clicking Edit will take you back into the pulse creator, and any changes you make will reflect in real time without having to reinstall the pulse embed code. And we also have the archive option, which is what you'll use when a pulse is ready for retirement. The pulse score is here to give you an at-a-glance view of how your pulses are performing. This number takes into account things like number of loads, number of plays, and playthrough rate to give each of your pulses a proprietary score. If we look at the Slideouts tab, you'll see the slideouts used on my published pulses with a similar gear icon menu with options to duplicate or edit the slideout. Duplicating a slide out is sometimes useful when making small changes rather than creating a new slide out from scratch. But you don't have to duplicate a slide out to use it on multiple pulses. You can see this is indicating that this slide out is installed on 3 different pulses. If I hover over it, it tells me which pulses those are. You'll get familiar with the dashboard pretty quickly as you start publishing pulses and check back in to view your scores. These metrics will help you understand what's working best for your audience and help your audio make the biggest impact possible. So that's Pulsemotiv. Thank you so much for taking the time to learn about our product. I hope you found the information helpful and that you're inspired to go create something amazing. For more information, check out our YouTube channel. And don't hesitate to sign up for our 14-day free trial and see what conversational guidance can do for your website today.